All right, we're back. This is Gav and this is Bick. Crazy things have happened today, but nobody's actually typing about it either on Crick Info, Crick Buzz, or any kind of buzz everywhere because today was a big day for West Indies.
Yeah.
I was just, talking to Bikram yesterday and was saying how shit West Indies is in Bangladesh, specifically got West Indies in Bangladesh so they can actually have a test victory. And guess what? West Indies did exactly what India did to Australia in Brisbane. They came out of nowhere, went to the wire, like they had like 2 overs left or something, and some guy who just come in, like he's actually he's not very young, he's 28 years old, I checked out. His name is Kyle Myers, who sounds like some rock star from United States, but he's West Indian, and he scored an unbeaten double century, and now they beat Bangladesh in Bangladesh. It was just crazy. I mean, they had no chance of winning out of nowhere. It was almost similar to what India did to Australia in the Brisbane Test. It was just crazy. So yeah, but that nobody's talking about it, but everybody's talking about. I have this exclusive news before you hear it from everyone else. You heard it here first. Breaking news: Rohit Sharma and Rishabh Pant have co-written a book together. The book is all about 160,000 pages about how to drop catches and miss stumpings where it's almost impossible to. And how to constantly eat all the time, also eat while you're sleeping. This is mind-boggling book. Don't get, bogged down by the length of the book, but once you start reading it, it's going to be like, you'll be like, once 16,000 pages will be finished within like 2 days. It's crazy
Page
book.
turner.
This is like, they're the next complete page turner, tearjerker. It was just amazing. Yeah, Edge of the Seats thriller. So the ideas they've given you, all the recipes they'll give you, it's crazy. It's crazy. How can they eat constantly? And they also tell you they actually still eat when they're playing. Even they're fielding, they're continuously eating. Even while they're chasing a delivery, they're still eating. I don't know. They have like those wires and pipes like stuck to their faces. All right. So now, I don't know where to start particularly, but these are interesting times because there's a lot of test matches happening right now. Apart from India test match, which India's probably going to lose, all the other test matches are like going very well. Today, West Indies had this amazing victory. Now, South Africa has suddenly sort of come back and they're in with a chance. So they will be a result against Pakistan tomorrow.
Correct.
Because I don't know, I didn't check last, but have they still lost 1 wicket? I didn't check it. Last I checked.
It comes on day 4 and they just lost 1 wicket for 109, 29 or something like that. I'll have to quickly check.
Correct. So it's looking pretty neat. So they need another 270 odd something, something like that. And I think they had 80 runs to chase, almost similar. So everybody's following the same template as Australia, India
243
test
runs
series. So eventually, so it's very interesting. Now, before the test match started, we talked about that England had a template. Template is first rule is win the toss, make 500 plus runs, Root makes a double 100. That's exactly the whole trifecta came true, and they have done it. And they came out today morning as well on third morning just to demoralize India completely. They didn't care how many runs they get. They just wanted to keep batting as long as possible. So they get tired. They make everybody super tired. I think England is just... I think before the series started, you said it's going to be very difficult for England. And I agreed with that. But if you remember, I was saying constantly that, there is some part of me feels that England's going to come out stronger than we're imagining. And then Joe Root is playing like Donald Bradman right now because he's made 644 runs in 3 test matches or something in 2011, 2021.
Correct.
This guy's he's the coronavirus of 2021 against India and Sri Lanka right now. So this guy's spreading everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know where to start. Do you want to start with bowling? Because there's been a lot of talk about bowling, about Kuldeep not getting selected and Ishant Sharma getting selected, and they're saying our bowling looks very feeble and weak. And then a lot of people also talking about Ajinkya Rahane not becoming the captain, and I think people are already blaming
Virat
Kohli and the fact that he didn't make any runs. People almost forget that Ajinkya Rahane also did not make any runs whatsoever. And in fact, it sounds like a sabotage of constantly trying to make sure that whenever he's not a captain, he makes low score. When he becomes a captain, he makes 100 straight away. So it feels like a sabotage to me. I just want to say one thing, then you can give an explanation on that Kuldeep has been constantly in the team and constantly not playing. And as I had a joke that, if India would rather play with 10 men than actually play Kuldeep, that's how the situation is right now. Again, a person who has played just one test gets selected over him. When everybody is pretty much an off spinner, then also they take him. And my theory is a little bit this thing that Shastri is being very sadistic here. After 3 odd years ago, he said he's our premier bowler, even better than Ashwin. And now they always select him but never play this guy. I have a theory that, because Ravi Shastri was also a left-hand spinner, off spinner, there is a bit of a bias because I just remember that he was a left arm spinner and that's why they picked this Nadeem dude. And I don't think Nadeem was bad or anything, but it just made more sense that if not now, when? But you had a theory that, which is a logical theory, but as you'll probably still agree that, if not now, when? What is happening with Kuldeep? Is he just here? Is he the water boy? Is he just to clap for everybody's 100 or 5 wicket hauls? Particularly the players who actually taken his place. The worst part is like, okay, he's clapping for all the people who's taken his place. I mean, think about the treatment of Prithvi and think about treatment of him. I mean, come on, man. Like, Prithvi is like, everybody loves Prithvi. He doesn't make any runs, still gets selected. And this guy's like, okay, I don't know what I need to do right now.
Yeah, I think the theory is not very new, but basically what India wanted for this test match was a left-hand spinner, and because I think there was a guy in Sri Lanka who really troubled the English batsmen, again left-hand spinner. So they had, since Jadeja is unavailable, they had picked Akshar Patel, and then Akshar Patel also got injured, and then. So they had to bring someone from outside of the team, and Kuldeep was sidelined because we also have to see that we don't have someone like Jadeja or even Akshar Patel who can bat and bowl. So that's why I think Sundar came in place of Jadeja or Akshar Patel, and then Kuldeep was sidelined. But that's whatever the logic is. I feel that if you knew that Chennai was going to be in Chennai, it was very difficult to play Kuldeep. They could have released him, right? At least they could have just said that, okay, let's pick a team which will from where we will pick the players. What's the point of selecting Kuldeep and if you are not playing him again and again? Whatever is the reason, it will be very demoralizing. I know they'll be telling him, they'll be giving him reasons. But knowing Kuldeep, we have seen Kuldeep how he gets emotional when he starts getting hit, right? So it will be really demoralizing for him. I mean, we were saying that why don't they pick Chahal? But I feel that it's better they're not picking Chahal because again he'll not play, and then it's better that he's at least playing in Syed Mustaq Ali Trophy and all that. So yeah, I think. Whatever the logic was behind not playing Kuldeep, it's really hard on him.
Yeah, because I know Ravi Shastri has given him the book to read, and that book is written jointly. Again, there's a lot of joint books going on by a great player called Mesut Ozil and Gareth Bale, and their book pretty much tells you all about what to do when you're always in the team but never get to play, but you get paid a lot of money. And in that situation, what you need to do. So he's been reading that book. I've seen it, like, when the camera falls on Kuldeep Yadav. But it's been very crazy because your logic is, I mean, even if you feel like your logic is logical, that means like, why do you have, like, then your logic says that no matter what happened, this guy was never going to play in the first place. So it's like, just holding on to this guy for what reason? Just release him.
Yeah.
Plus he's in India, you can just, like let him do something else. I mean, because there's a lot of hope. Or you can just directly tell him that he's a net bowler or something. But they never say he's a net bowler. There's like, and they pick all the net bowlers, by the way, in the team. And he's the person in the team who never gets picked.
Correct. Nadeem was not
in
even
fact, there was some
team.
person joking like, yeah, they've been joking like, why are we playing net bowlers? There was this joke or sort of a question that people put in. And that's just been weird. Okay, Joe Root has been like phenomenal, so I don't know what to talk about this guy. Jack Crawley before the match had an injury which he fell and he just slipped on his, he slipped and he fell on his wrist, and his wrist sort of like sprained badly, so he's out. But then my point was like, who the hell put the fucking powder there? Because I'm pretty sure it was Dan Lawrence. And then he came out and then he took his place, and then he made a massive duck when people thought that might change, but nothing changed. But Jack Crawley is not as upset that, Dan Lawrence, you put all this powder everywhere so I can slip and actually break my wrist, and now you didn't make any runs, so they not help. So they're going to wait for Jack Crawley. So that's one position is still there, because it's not that Lawrence made a duck, it's just the fact that he's still very new, and the fact that he made a duck, it's not going to augur very well for him when he comes out next time. People are going to target him. And also because he's number 3, and if he can next time get Joe Root out quickly, things can change. But we're talking about second test match or third test match right now. This test match, England is all over India.
Yeah.
like a big fat rash. And your favorite Moeen Ali, who you thought was the best spinner, did not get picked. And guess what? Don Bess. And what's with this Dom thing? Everybody's like named Dom in England team or something. It's like Dom, Dan, Dom. There's one batsman also playing with
Maybe
Dom.
his name is
So,
longer. The what do you call that? The natural name is, or the legal name is longer. They just shortened it, some Dominic or something.
Yeah, I think everybody just wants an O in their name because like it should be normally like a Jeffrey, right? But his name is Joffra, so you can put an O there. Joe also has an O. The Dom has an O. The multiple Doms are there. It's like almost like Root has like two O's. I was like, people are like, you make O. I have two O's, so I make double hundreds and stuff. So I don't know what is happening because Moeen Ali and Kuldeep are also like reading the same book and they've been drinking Kingfisher and like they're like, okay, we always don't get picked, so people don't like us. What can we do? It's personal. But I think Ishant got unfair because whosoever doesn't understand cricket, Ishant got unfair criticism because people thought Siraj should be picked. He's a left armer and all that stuff, and Ishant did not take wicket till the very end. People were like, oh, he did not bowl well. But when I watched, and I thought he bowled really, really well. I think he was pretty much the best bowler.
Yeah.
So sometimes you don't get wickets per se, but I think your prediction before the Test series started was 2-1, I believe.
No, 2-0.
2-0. Okay, you didn't even have one, and my prediction was 2-all. So which seems more likely because it's definitely not going to be nil unless really England blows this. Although towards the end, only silver lining was that the seventh wicket did not fall, and we have to thank Jofra Archer because he did drop a catch.
Yeah,
right?
he did drop a catch. Yeah, correct. Yeah, I mean, I watched bits and pieces here and there. I mean, I watched a lot till Virat Kohli got out, and I even watched after that. So I just feel that the spinners are not doing that great. It's just obviously the pitch is breaking up, and if you see what Pujara was doing, I mean, obviously what Pant did is something incredible. No one can do that, and you can't expect him to do that all the time. But even Pujara was scoring quite naturally, quite freely, in fact, against the spinners. And this is what I was telling you yesterday, that people say that Indians are very good batsmen of spin bowling, but barring Pujara, I didn't see anyone using their feet. I mean, I'm not talking about anyone. I'm talking mostly about Virat Kohli because Rahane just played 3 or 4 balls, right? And he did use his feet and just played a horrible shot. Took the ball on the full.
Great catch though.
Yeah, very, very good catch. But I mean, it just we'll talk about it later anyway. But I was saying is here's this guy who is playing his 11th or 11th Test match, first time in India, and you are giving him so much respect. And I'm not talking about just going out and hitting like Pant, but you should use your feet. This is the third day pitch, right? The pitch will keep on breaking. The ball will start misbehaving more and more. So you have to make runs. I don't know what Virat Kohli was trying to do, trying to just defend, because when they started, when the Indian innings started, they were scoring really freely because England was also attacking, so there were a lot of opportunities. But then when the spinners came, somehow they started, both Virat Kohli and to some extent Pujara as well, were just trying to defend from their crease. But if you see, when we talk about Indians being very good players of the spin, we all talk about VVS Lakshman or Sachin Tendulkar, and they used to play much better bowlers, right? As spinners, they played Shane Warne, they played Australian spinners, other spinners, Sri Lankan spinners. But in the current Indian team, I think the problem is that nobody, apart from Pujara, nobody uses their feet to to get to the ball or try to maneuver the ball. Because if you dead bat the ball in Indian subcontinent, in spinning pitches, there will be a ball which will jump, and this what happened with Virat Kohli, right? If you see that ball, it didn't spin much, it just jumped a bit. There was a puff of dust, and then so if you let the bowler and who is this bowler, just played 10 matches, so young, you have to dominate the spinners unless they will get on top of you in Indian subcontinent. So I'm saying this again and again. A lot of this is a misconception that we are actually good players of spin. But very disappointing that we are not actually dominating this bowler, because that's what Stokes did against Nadeem, right? He's playing his first match, Nadeem, and if you see his innings, Stokes' innings.
Which match? First
Test match. Yeah. So
Wait, this is second or first? I'm not sure.
It's first.
I think he's played one match or something. Is it first?
I think it's for first.
He has it. I think it shows he's played one match.
Okay, so not first, but I think second, and after a long time. So he was bowling in the rough, and if you see Stokes' innings, in highlights they don't show that, but he had a lot of difficulties. He missed a couple of times. He was dropped a couple of times. Both were difficult chances, but the point is he dominated him, and eventually Virat Kohli had to take him out. And that's what you need to do with the spinners, especially visiting spinners, right? They are playing for the first time in India. You should not let them settle, at least in the first test match, so that they have to think about something. And this has been the problem all before as well. That's why when we were talking about yesterday, this is what happened against Australia in Pune. We made a spinning pitch, but we only got destroyed. So I think second innings they'll have to really show some intent, and intent doesn't mean just going out and hitting all the deliveries, but yeah.
All right, because obviously we spend a lot of time on this thing, and I do have a question, but I don't want a long answer, because otherwise we'll just get stuck on this spin thing. I'm just a little bit confused. Just hear me out and then say, Rohit Sharma definitely goes uses feet. I've seen Shubman Gill uses feet. Pujara does use feet. Kohli did not use feet today. Rahane uses feet. Rishabh definitely was using his feet. Sundar was also doing it. So I'm just asking, are you saying we're not using our feet
against the spinners?
It was just today Virat was not using it, or we are actually good. Or is your point because could be that we're not playing as well as we should be?
Yeah, that's
because
correct.
We're definitely using feet.
Both Rohit and Gill didn't get the chance to play against spinners, so I can't say anything about them. But I'm especially talking about Virat and Rahane. We have already talked about a lot of times that Rahane doesn't have the skill. His idea was right. He was trying to use the feet and get to the ball, but it was too early. It was his fourth or fifth ball. He has to settle down, then try to play it. But he doesn't have the skill. Who has the skill? Virat has the skill. Pujara has the skill.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I'm just saying that we'll see if Rohit and Gill survives the opening bowling in the second innings. What will they do against the spinners? But I've seen other players. I mean, not just talking about this test match, but other test matches like the Australia one, where we got destroyed. So yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I just feel that we're probably not playing as well, but I'm pretty sure Rohit Sharma always uses feet. In fact, that's where he got criticism, right, in the last match. And he uses feet, got out and all that nonsense. Oh my God, Rohit Sharma got out and all that shit. And I'm pretty sure Shubman Gill will use the feet. Rishabh Pant destroyed Leach, right? He was literally taking him on.
That's different. I mean that not different, but it's not something what everyone can do, right? He has the license and he is on a high right now. So that will not come off all the time, right?
Yeah, you just have to move around a bit. You can't just be too stationary. And the fact that a person like Virat Kohli playing 11 runs of 50 deliveries and strike rate of 22, I mean that's kind of that doesn't work very well. And particularly on a day when even Pujara just playing normally was averaging striking over 50. Yeah. So you can understand that this is a pitch that you don't play like that. It's not going to work out very well for you, which is very visible, obviously. Apart from Ravichandran Ashwin at the end, because Virat Kohli is not Ravichandran Ashwin, and Ravichandran Ashwin is doing a different job altogether. And he understands spin, so he's like, okay, I know how I can negate it that way. And a little bit luck also plays into in your hand as well. And also when you get through the first few deliveries, it works. Okay, so it's not good because Virat Kohli has actually gotten out a few times with that. So moving on for there, again, I think India has not taken their chances apart from Jofra Archer missing that catch. England has been absolutely spectacular in the field. And I want to point out the fact that playing in Sri Lanka and placing Sri Lankan series right before the Indian series, and because Sri Lanka, they knew they're going to put rank turners and they're going to be playing spinners for at least 50 odd overs every innings. I think that was just a masterstroke because once, and particularly even if they had lost, it would have just worked out very well, not only for the batsmen but for their own spinners also. Because whenever you have a practice match here, you don't know what kind of pitch they're going to give you. They're probably going to give you shitty pitches. Also, you're not going to get like premier bowlers or batsmen from India be there. You can say anything about Sri Lanka, but the fact is they are very good at spinners and they're giving you rank turners. And the fact that rank turners is there when John Best got a 5-4, then he got another 4 wickets in the last test match, his confidence is very high.
Correct.
So when just luck favors you, because the way Pujara got out, I mean, that was freaky, man. And so it was very, very unlucky for Pujara. But that's the kind of stuff that happens. Luck favors you. When things are falling in your plate, just keeps falling in your plate all the time. So that definitely worked out as well, very much for us. And one thing I really love about sport is that no matter what happened in the last match, you still start from zero. You could Joe Root has made double 100 right now. You know, he's still going to start from zero. He can still get out on 0. That thing happened with Steven Smith. He came out of the best batsman in the last inning. He had 0, 1, 2 runs in the first 2 test matches. Then he was like, okay. And then he got on a roll. So things can change very quickly as well. They need to figure out how to get Root, and they need to get Root very quickly, because right now Root is a massive, massive problem, because the way he's playing, it's giving confidence to everybody.
Correct.
It's not good. You can't have a team coming in and making 580 runs. They just destroy you. You were in the field for like what, two days and another half session, 6.5 sessions. That's just destructive. The fact that they played so many overs, they took so many times, so now they know that they're not gonna lose. And the fact that they have rotation policy, and now they have the fact that their spinners can bowl, they don't get tired. They can always rest Anderson and get Stuart Broad in. They can always let Jofra Archer gets Vokes or somebody else in. It's not going to be a problem to rest. And anyway, I'm not even sure resting is going to be a problem, because fast bowlers really not going to bowl that many overs. And the spinners, they're like, listen, we can bowl. We'll bowl, man, as long as we can bowl as many overs as possible. And Moeen Ali is also there, so it's not really a problem. So I think it's just right now cards are stacked against India, and this is not, you can't just look for another comeback like Australia, because Australia never made 580.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So that never happened.
And I think this is only the third time in 10 years when a visiting team had made more than 550 runs. So that is...
Yeah, this is the highest score by Joe Root or something since double century since 2010 or something. And apart from the fact that Joe Root made us like a world record of only first batsman to ever make a double century in his 100th test also.
Yeah, I mean, he's on an incredible run, and the whole team is playing around him. He's just, as his name is Root, he's just rooted there, and the whole team is just playing around. And that's why Stokes was able to play that innings, the innings which he played, because there was so much cushion, right? You're already 300 runs, 250, 300 runs, and you can come in and just play your shots. So yeah, they'll have to quickly figure out, probably ask the groundsmen to make a better pitch next time, not give them a because it's too much dependent upon the toss, right? And we know Virat Kohli is champion in losing tosses, so that's one good reason to actually change to Ajinkya Rahane. At least,
yeah, that's crazy.
At least he'll win the toss, right? So
yeah, definitely. I did notice that they don't have any extra fast bowlers apart from Stuart Broad. I mean, they have standby players and everything, but there's no specific like Matt Parkinson is this. His name is Parkinson. Okay, that's interesting. Like the Parkinson, like the disease. Okay, so Matt Parkinson. It does not say. It says leg break, off break. There's some guy who looks like that old Sardarji bowler that they had. Who was that guy?
Panesar.
It's very disrespectful. Like, Panesar. Yeah, this guy looks like Panesar's younger brother. His name is Amar Virdi. Then Ollie is there, but there's a bowler. He is also medium fast. So Ollie Robinson is there. So they have a couple of bowlers they can come in.
Yeah.
But I don't think that will be a problem with rotation, because they can always rotate and the third, fourth squad is already not there. So I'm sure they're going to have surprise all the Chris Wokes and the tall another Wood and everybody's not here. I don't know what's the deal, so I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
But what are the chances do you think India has right now of actually winning, and what are the chances of England winning according to you in percentile, and what are the chances of a draw right now according to you?
But India winning, I don't see any chance. Maybe 5%, because there's always
5 is a lot.
because there's always a chance. But yeah, I think England winning is the highest probability right now, at maybe 70% or maybe even 80%. And then because there's not going to be any rain, that's for sure. And then the way the amount of time which is left now, plus the pitch is quickly deteriorating. So I would say that there's 70%, 70 to 75% chance of England winning, and then there is always 20%, 20 to 25% chance of India drawing the test match, and very negligible chance.
Yeah, I think draw is going to be very unlikely because the way the ball is going to keep spinning and spinning, it's just going to be very, 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 very difficult.
Because it's not about
I think even Joe Root is going to start. Joe Root is going to start taking wickets as well. It's going to be very, very mighty.
So it'll be interesting. The only thing which can come in favor of India is if they're able to, prolong this first inning for a while, because they're obviously going to not reach the follow-on figure. And but if they can prolong the innings, and then there'll be a doubt in Root's mind whether they should enforce the follow-on, because bowling in this heat for 2.5 days is not a small feat. So there could be some time lost there, and then India can come back. But that's very very difficult as well, right? We can't expect these people, the tail enders, to survive for a longer period, and the new ball is also due. So yeah, very unlikely, but possibility is there. After Australia, things can happen.
Yeah, well, that's what we're hanging on to, but things change very quickly. Yeah. So I think only other thing I want to talk about is, like, when do you think is the next time? Is it going to be 2020? You have options 2023, 2024, 2026. Kohli winning the toss next time.
Yeah,
because it has been like already 17 years he hasn't won a toss.
Yeah, I did win the toss in Australia, but then we lost the match. But yeah,
he won when he was captaining under 13. That's that's what Wikipedia says, that since then he has not won a toss. And then it's saying we're not really sure, but because that was his friend said, according to his testimony of his friend, that he won a toss, because nobody has ever seen Kohli winning a toss ever.
Yeah, correct.
Because every time I see Kohli just loses the toss. I don't know what the hell is the deal with it, but the guy can't win a toss. Like, every time Kohli lost a toss, if I got a penny, I would have been like I would have had 68 pennies. So people are like, oh, billionaire, you're not going to become a billionaire. What is happening? Okay, the problem still remains, right? People are just, we're papering over the cracks here because we don't talk about stuff. The fact still remains, Pant is a shit wicket keeper. Yeah. The fact still remains that Rohit Sharma is fatter than a cow, and it's a problem. Okay, we can keep joking about like they're writing autobiographies and all. But the way Rohit dropped that catch, it can happen. It can happen. Shit can happen. You can get out for 36 entire team. But it is a metaphor for the fact that he really doesn't give a shit. He's just too cool for school. Yeah. He's too big shot. Yeah. That's the problem. Because he has this amazing ability to bat some amazing things, but he's not even batted that well. So, but it does not matter. You can make 500, you can make 200, you can make quick fire 75. But the fact is, you're going to drop one catch,
which will cost
and that
you.
One catch, it did not mean so much. But the fact that they prolong the innings so much, and that can actually mean something. Even Jofra Archer dropping today, Sundar, that can make a big difference tomorrow for India.
Yeah.
Because that could have been like completely exposed everybody, and Dom Bess and Jack Leach would have just eaten up the last three players, because the ball is like really ripping right now. So when you drop those catches, I saw in the highlights, this guy Pant was just like struggling, and he's been constantly struggling. It's difficult for him.
Yeah.
It's not easy, because wicket keeping is difficult. So that's what I'm saying. You just need to work harder, and I'm really not sure that he work as hard as possible you can, because that's the deal. I remember somebody saying that, if somebody told me that I'm not a good wicket keeper, or if I'm not training very well, I'm going to work. I'm going to be angry, not at the person who's telling me, but angry at myself. I'm going to prove that person wrong by just doing everything that possible I can. Because right now, I don't think he's doing everything he possibly can to actually be the best wicket keeper. Maybe somebody else can do the whole, pumping up the team part, or you want to do it as well, but you need to make sure that because every time I'm bowling, if I'm Ravichandran Ashwin or something, I don't have any confidence in him.
Yeah.
I'm pretty, every time the ball player goes down the track and misses the ball, I'm like, this guy is going to miss it as well, because he's not reading it. Yeah. It's just difficult. I'm not saying he's doing it deliberately. I'm just saying you're not doing everything possible, because he obviously loves his batting, but he doesn't love his keeping as much. But this is Test cricket, buddy. This is not T20. This is not limited over. One missed stumping can actually make complete difference, because I saw he missed a stumping, and the ball was like really in the middle of his gloves, just pops out from nowhere.
Yeah.
So Rohit Sharma and Rishabh Pant are a big liability in the field, and they'll continue to be that unless they change their attitude.
Yeah, correct. And especially in these conditions, right? you in a day you barely get 5 or 6 chances, and if you don't take those chances, even tailenders will destroy you. And this is what happened, right? Rohit Sharma, I think, dropped Dom Best's catch or someone, and they ended up forget about the score. I think they ended up just making 40-50 runs, which is again very big, a lot of runs in context. But then they played almost 20 overs, I think 20 overs more on that pitch, and you are getting you are exposing that pitch to wear and tear. So it is huge. It's just not those 30-40 runs. It's a wear and tear on the pitch, the tiredness of the bowlers and the fielders and yourself. So yeah, I mean, in these conditions, especially if it's England, you drop a catch, the next chance will be coming, right? Maybe in like 20 balls. But here you just have to, it's very difficult to take a wicket, and then you drop a sitter or you drop a stumping. That's not going to help, even if you make a lot of runs, because that's just one part, right? You have to do all the parts correctly, especially when you are the specialist wicket keeper or the slip fielder. Yep.
All right, fair enough. So on that note, I don't want to because I have a few more questions, but I'm let's just see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I really from my end, I think India winning is absolute 0% chance.
Yeah.
England winning, I would say 75%. I think I'm being very conservative on that. Could be higher, but I think I'm still giving a 25% chance to the draw, because a lot of things have happened, because India has really good batsmen if they can really, really play out. But I think the major thing will be not waste so many overs tomorrow, which can also work. Your theory is completely correct. But my theory is that they rather just, if they can just get some runs and get that across 380 somehow, even by 5 runs, and confuse England to put them back in, they'll not be sure what exactly is happening right now.
Yeah.
And how long should we play, how long should we put, because they will be the Australia series will come back. And also the fact that Joe Root is not as aggressive as the Australians. He does like to put more runs on the board, and that can actually play in India's favour by the fact that we do have very good players of spin, and they can just waste a lot of overs as well and actually still not get out. I really think this is going to be a different ball game, because it's not Australia. Ball is ripping. And if you're going to play the waiting game, it is not going to work. But again, as I said, lightning can strike 4th time. It can, but I am giving them 0% chance. And let's just say 80% England, 4 out of 5, and 20% chance of a draw. So that's my final say on this thing. And let's say India can hold on to the catches. When I say India, I mean Rishabh Pant and Rohit Sharma, who are really eating right now as we speak on this podcast. They're like, oh, we don't like eating, but we always get caught eating every time.
Even in Australia.
So, all right. All right. So, anything else you want to add?
No, nothing else. I think let's wait and watch.
All right. So, if you liked it, you can like and subscribe. You can tell your parents, grandma, grandparents, pets, cows, goats. Everybody can subscribe. So, take care. We'll continue. We'll talk about it after test match ends and before the second match starts. So let's hope India can still pull off another miracle. But you can't keep pulling off miracles. It might not happen. But I love the sport. It just brings everybody back to earth. And India is right now back to earth. And right now, Root is really flying and rooting everything. So we are not rooting for Root. Let's just root for India a little bit. And also, final thing I noticed that Amitabh Bachchan got a lot of shit about some post that he had made against Root. He's like, who is Root? we will judge se ukhad denge Root. And now I think Andrew Flintoff came back and just gave a lot of shit to Amitabh Bachchan and was trolling him. He's like, oh, guess what happened? You got uprooted, not us. So everybody's coming back. Stuart Broad also said something to someone, but I didn't read on it. But there's been a lot of off the pitch sledging is going on from the players, particularly who are not playing right now. So it's gonna get more spicy. Let's see if England can really pull this off, because next matches is going to be very, very difficult anyway for England. So if England wins, it does make the series much more exciting than actually a 2-0 or a 3-0 from India's side.
Okay.
All right, let's see. Kohli can make some runs, and Rane can also play very well when he's not captaining. All right, on that note, take care.
Bye-bye.
Have a good evening. Have a good weekend. Bye now.